Welcome to So You Think Your Car is Fast, where we dive into the world of high-end, fast cars and explore what it truly means to have a fast car. From the latest in supercar technology to the mechanics that make these machines go, we'll separate fact from fiction and uncover the misconceptions about speed and power that exist in the minds of the general public. Join us as we put the pedal to the metal and discover what it takes to have a car that truly lives up to the title of fast.
Okay, and we're live. Welcome back to So You Think Your Car is Fast with special guest, Brooke Berini. Welcome,
Thank you for
Brooke.
having me.
I can't believe it. We have been begging you to join us for years, and you finally
That
said,
is the biggest lie. I texted you back right away the moment that you asked me. Here I am.
well,
The line's long to get her.
yeah, there's a waiting list.
Oh gosh. Well, I'm just happy to be here with you guys. It's going to be a really exciting year, so I'm excited to talk about the year before everything starts out in April in Hondo.
Do you feel like talking about the year beforehand jinxes it?
No, not at all. You have to be prepared.
Positive.
That's what I feel like mine has done.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, don't give me your bad energy. I don't need
Okay,
it this
I
year.
won't. No, I won't.
He's good at that. He's good at that. Well, as you know, maybe you do, maybe you don't, but our podcast is pretty much focused on the half mile stuff that we like to do. And I think it would, Jason and I were talking. He's like, you got to have Brooke on. I'm like, you think she would even? So that's why you're here. We're happy to have you. So how many shift sectors have you done now?
So I've done 2.
Okay.
So I started mid last year. I did Indy, and then I did Abilene, and I was just hooked. Like I had to do more. The half mile is like a breath of fresh air after doing quarter mile for so long, the same events, same places. It's really cool to be able to go around the country and race at different spots where it's not as stressful, I would say.
Oh, okay. So less stress without. Now, why is it less stress? Is it because there's no walls, or is it something else?
You know how the half miles are. They're very, like chill. Like there's no rush to get to the staging lanes. There's no announcer saying, you got to get to the staging lanes right now. You have 5 minutes. We're going to close everything down. There isn't like a ton of people, so you can't even drive through the crowds, through the staging lanes, through the pits. I mean, it's just a completely different vibe. And everyone seems to be a lot less stressed out. And everyone seems to really enjoy themselves more because they are not as stressed about sticking to a timeline. I really like the way that Jason has it set up where, we'll call your class, and if you want to make a pass this time, that's cool. But if you don't want to make a pass this time, you can go next round. The way that it's structured over 2 days is just so nice.
2 different events over the weekend.
Yeah.
Hey, Brooke, can I ask you a question while we're talking about half mile? So you come from the quarter mile scene. Give us a little bit of, I guess, a short synopsis of your history, like what you were doing before you were introduced to half mile.
Yeah. Well, and even quarter mile stuff, I just got into it probably about 6 or 7 years ago. The GTR is actually my dream car when I was in high school. So I bought one back in 2017. I did circuit track racing. I did a couple of actual half miles at Poconos with Slipstream. I did a bunch of road rallies. We would drive across the country. And then the last thing that I tried was drag racing, quarter mile drag racing in Bradenton, Florida. And I was hooked from there. So then I got super serious into quarter mile drag racing. I've been doing that the past couple of years. And sometimes there's like overlap, right? So I know a lot of GTR people like to do half mile. And then obviously the heavy hitters at TX2K, UGR, they're always doing half mile. So I was like, I kind of want to try that. And some of my friends had tried it. So I was like, I'm going to give it a try. And again, like I said, I had so much fun the first time I was there. And then it just hooked me in the second time. Like I was fully committed. It's just a lot more fun to spend time around people who are not as stressed all the time.
Well, I think why that is that over half of the participants at Shift Sector aren't competing in any of the classes. They're just out having fun.
And that's what it's about.
Yeah.
I mean, the second Shift Sector I went to, I brought one of my girlfriends, Natasha, and she actually shipped her bike in that she rides to work every day, like every day. And she made, I think it was like 25 passes.
That's what it's all
Wow.
about.
In 2 days, she made 25 passes. And she left halfway through, the last day we were going home.
Wow.
But she just was hot lapping and having the time of her life. Because when is she allowed to like open throttle like that driving to work? Never, legally. You know what I mean? So she had a blast. I've never seen her smile so much. And that really, I just loved seeing that.
That's what it's all about. It's funny your perspective, because sometimes I think, I want to get into quarter mile racing, but the GT3 is not the car for that. So I would need to
honestly, well, I will say there have been quite a few AIM Porsches that have been in Texas 2K in the past couple of years that have been like pretty good competitors. I remember racing a bunch of them in years prior. And there's nothing wrong with quarter mile drag racing. I love quarter mile drag racing. That's what brought my passion, to fruition. But the vibe is just so much different. When you're going to a quarter mile drag race, you usually have 4 days, right? So you get in, you test, you qualify, you do eliminations, and then, you pack up and head home. But the cool thing about the half miles is it's just Saturday, Sunday. All you're doing is getting your car there. It's not like you really have to set up camp.
Yeah.
You don't need an entire crew there. It's just you and your car.
Do you have to re-gear?
No. We do have, I'll switch maps just to be safe. I turn it down a little bit because,
Prep?
Yeah, exactly. I'm so used to being glued to the track that's a little bit different on an unprepped surface. But no re-gearing. No.
So what is your goal in the half mile with the GTR now?
It sounds funny to say I just want to have fun, but that is like such a big thing to me. Seriously though, the women's class, I'm so dedicated to it. I think that's such a cool idea that I wish that we could do in quarter mile for the past couple of years. And to see Jason and Mark with AZ Cycle Parts putting a class together just for the women, I'm so excited to be a part of it. And I really want to get all the women racers out onto the tracks this year. I just think it's going to be super cool to see all these different kinds of cars. And that's another thing that I really like about the half mile is you have so many different cars. When I'm doing my quarter mile drag racing, it's usually, I'm in a class that's restricted to something. So like right now, it's a DCT, the dual clutch transmission class. Really all you're seeing is like a handful of Porsches, a handful of GTRs, and then a ton of B10s. So the R8s and the Lambos. You're racing the same people every event, everywhere you go. You're going to race someone that you raced last time, even though you're somewhere different. But the thing about the half miles that's wicked cool is that I can race up against anyone. I mean, my girlfriend Natasha on the bike, we did a side-by-side pass together. That was sick. I loved that. Like, when would I ever be able to do that anywhere else?
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. How fast did she go?
I forget what her top speed was. I think it was in the 150s.
Oh, wow.
Which, I mean, I won't get on a bike. I think that's terrifying. It's scary enough going 200 in, a car with a cage. Right. You're all strapped in. But yeah, on a bike, that's nuts.
So you have an R35 GTR wrapped in chrome pink, right? Mm-hmm. You can't miss it at all the events. I've seen it at all the events.
Right.
So what is your quickest in the quarter?
In the quarter, we've gone 792 at 180. We have made some major adjustments. So we're looking for something a little bit better next week at Texas 2K.
Oh, okay. So you are going to 2K. Cool.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. I am going too, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I have enough power for 2K anymore. But
honestly, the caliber has changed so much. It's crazy. Like my first Texas 2K that I raced in, my car was full bolt-ons. Stock transmission, stock motor, stock turbos. Just
5-6 years ago.
Yeah, and I think that we placed as well. So like
that's what I was going to ask you is how it did with just the bolt-ons.
It did really well. So you got to think back then you had a bunch of, you had the V10s were coming out. they had been out for a little while, but they were like coming out in full force. Like they were trying to like upgrade them and make them faster. There were a ton of 720s in that class too, the McLarens. And it was so fun because they were just like these street cars that everyone just drove in and then they would drive out, after the race.
Right.
And that was so cool. But like now, the slowest class at Texas 2K, you need to have like at least 1,500 horsepower.
Even in the drags?
Oh, yeah.
Oh. Are you going to do roll and drags?
Just drag.
Okay. Have you ever done roll?
Yes, I did roll. It's just a little weird to me. I don't like how it's kind of up to the interpretation of whoever is shooting the radar gun. And, if they see people are lined up, you have two cars coming at you. How do you know who's, in the right position? I like you come up to the light, like there's no BS. Like, that trigger knows when, you rolled past the beams. There's no, well, we'll rerun it again and maybe it'll be different. I just
black
like
and white. It is black and white, and the guy in the stands with the button, it's really up to him whether it's a fair race or not.
Yeah.
Or fair start, right?
Yeah.
There's a lot that goes on there for sure.
Definitely. I mean, you've seen some of these cars. They're really competitive. So, if someone says, I'll challenge that. Like, I would never want to be in that position. Like, I'm trying to make the least amount of quarter-mile passes in my car every race to save it for the next race.
Yeah, breakage. That's a big problem.
Well, and that's another thing with the half mile that's really nice is, I can roll into or soft launch off the line at the half mile.
Yeah.
It's super nice. I feel like I'm saving the car there. Because that's our biggest issue in the quarter mile is usually, although we build the transmissions, John Shepard and Dodson, they have, great product. You can't beat on something like that forever and expect it to last. So that's like our main issue is usually transmission failure.
So in Hondo, that's coming up, are you going to go?
Yes.
So you're going to have an advantage because Hondo is generally the dustiest track. So the all-wheel drive cars are going to do pretty well there. So,
interesting. Okay.
Although Jason says that they're doing some kind of a clean up on that track. I don't know what they're doing, but it might be better this year. But
yeah, I sure hope so. I don't want to get on any dusty track with a high horsepower car, but no, the GTR hook's pretty good. The last 2 half miles I did, I was very impressed.
What's your power level? 15-ish?
About 16.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what does that translate into in the half? Is it 215, 210?
So we turned down probably a couple hundred.
Okay.
Just because I wanted to save it and make sure it lasted the rest of the year before we did our refresh for the new season. And we went to 11, which was awesome. It was my first time going over 200. So it was pretty nice. 211 turned down is pretty sick. Yeah,
absolutely. Wow. So with another 200 horsepower, you could be maybe even 220.
Yeah. We'll see how it goes. All these V10 cars still, they dominate everywhere. So there's a lot of dominating V10s right now. My favorite car at every half mile that I've been to has been Kennedy Marlowe's R8. So, and she just went, 149 or sorry, 249?
Yeah, 250 or
very fast. Crazy.
Super
that's
fast.
Terrifyingly fast.
So she's going to be in the women's class, obviously, right?
Absolutely. So she's going to be in the women's class. I believe Jess is going to be in the women's class. It'll be me and Sana Deebs. I'm trying to get her out there with me. But I want more ladies. I want to take some more, I'm not trying to rob from the quarter mile scene, but I would love to see more ladies coming from the quarter mile and trying out the half mile just to try it. It's so much fun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, we have a blast. I mean, just like you said, it's just, I think Jason brings his California vibe to the half mile events,
For sure.
And it just seems laid back, less attitude.
Yeah. Yeah, he kills it. I mean, seriously, you can't look at the man without smiling. He's just always having a good time, no matter what's happening. His whole staff, everyone's just incredible. So it definitely makes it more enjoyable to be around people who are so excited to be where they are.
Mm-hmm. To me, Jason feels like the best friend that I barely know.
That is a great way to describe him, actually.
Yeah.
Because the first time you talk to him, you'll be like, "Oh yeah, you let me know if you need anything." tell me how I can make the event better.
Right.
You know, what, like, he's open to listening. Like, he wants
Yes.
to make it the best possible experience, which is what you want in an event owner, event promoter. You know, that's all you want.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So your first, so is this your original GTR you've had the entire time?
Yes. Yep.
Okay, so started off full bolt on
Yep.
at a local shop in DC, or?
Yeah. So I picked the car up in North Carolina, and it was aesthetically modified. It was a little ugly, but I didn't really care because I know I had really good friends that, you know, would teach me everything I needed to know. So Baker Performance in Maryland helped me out a ton. They actually taught me like pretty much everything I know about the GTR. And I used to spend like late nights in the shop wrenching. You know, they would let me stay past hours just to get some jobs done. And I learned everything from them. So we did full bolt-ons there. And that's when I went to Florida 2K in Bradenton for the first time to do that quarter mile drag race. And ever since then, I've been hooked. So then we started working with AMS. Been with AMS for the past 5 years. We did a lot of cool things together. We still hold the quickest and fastest stock turbo GTR. It was an 872, and I'm blanking on the mile per hour right now. But it was like, we blew it out of the water. Before then, it was like a 9.1. So we really set it deep. And we've just been doing a lot of fun stuff. You know, I recently transitioned to the Shop Houston. The Shop Houston does a ton of races with a lot of customers. So it makes it a little bit easier for me to go out and attend more races. And I've loved working with them as well. Everything's been awesome.
Yeah, it really helps when the shop actually goes to the events.
Right.
It really makes it a lot better.
And don't get me wrong, AMS had done everything in their power. You know, I did the Hoonigan race against Travis Pastrana.
Yeah, really?
And, you know,
Oh, man, I gotta see that.
Jake, my tuner, he was there remoting in over the weekend. He would do it all the time. He'd always remote in over the weekend. I keep a laptop in the car just in case, you know, he needed to pull any logs or make any adjustments. But again, it's hard without a crew when you're doing that kind of competitive racing. So it was a good switch for everyone, I believe.
Cool. Where can we find that race? It's on YouTube somewhere, right?
Yes. So if you just go to YouTube, type in either Hoonigan, this versus that, or my name, Brooke Berini, it'll pop up. It was like one of the best races of my life. You know, they say don't meet your heroes, but I met Travis, and he was one of the coolest people I know. So
what was he driving? One of his Subarus?
Yes, he had the I forget what they called it. It wasn't the Gymkhana. It was but it was like one of those rally cars.
Okay.
And it was actually called the Flying Finish. So when we raced, it was about 1,000 feet. And at the 1,000-foot mark, he would have to jump the car.
Oh, that's right. I think
platform.
Yeah, that's right. He was jumping.
Yeah. We definitely smoked him, but you know, he was very humble about it.
That is so cool.
It was a lot of fun.
So now with Shop Houston, where I'm from, heard nothing but good things about them, and they're winning. You know, they win 2K. They're all over the place.
Yeah, they're awesome. I've been wanting to work with them for a long time. Just things didn't line up at first, but now that we're both in a position to where we can help each other, it's really cool. You know, Vaughn and Mac, the owners over there, they're freaking awesome. No matter what, throughout the years of my racing, if I ever went to them and asked for something or asked their advice, like, they would never hesitate to help out. So I had a really good relationship with them prior to me joining the Shop Houston. So it's just great now to have that good communication and being able to go all over with them instead of, you know, only picking a couple races a year to go to.
So are they going to store the car here, or are you going to keep it with you and send it out?
It depends. I'm not sure yet. You know, the schedule for the half mile this year, going to so many different places, I'm not really sure what I'm going to do yet, but I'll have it figured out. Obviously, it's going to go back to the shop after Texas 2K, because Hondo is also in Texas. So yeah, we'll see how that works.
Yeah, well, there's all of the Shift Sector races are central to the country.
Yeah,
so,
right now I can't really bring my car home. I live on a mile stretch of dirt road, so I'm sure my car would hate that.
Oh,
she hasn't been home in a little while, but hopefully we can remedy that sometime soon.
No, I know exactly how you feel. That's one of the reasons why Taylor and I moved to AIM, because they're at all the events.
Yes.
They're the best in the business at Porsche.
Mm-hmm.
And Taylor and I, we talk offline all the time on why do we take so long to move over to AIM?
When it makes sense, it makes sense. You have to do what's best for your racing program and, what's best for your wallet. Mm-hmm. So it really just, I couldn't be happier. It really worked out really nicely. And, I still love the AMS guys and everything they've done for me. I have a great relationship with them. But moving forward, I'm excited to go to more events and be more supported.
That is awesome. That is awesome. Taylor, what you got? Anything exciting to...
Well, I'm just thinking about her talking really good about the previous crew team. I wish we could say that.
Yeah, that's true.
Bad experience.
Or you got to make the decisions that are best for your wallet. Somebody should have told me that a long time ago, because that's not what we did.
Started off good, but
you live and you learn, honestly.
Yeah, you do, and you got to kiss a lot of frogs sometimes before you
sometimes
find the right situation.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I want to know what or when or even how you got involved with cars and racing. I mean, look, obviously, I think it's awesome that there's a women's class, but cars haven't generally been an attraction of women necessarily in the racing scene.
Yeah, well, when I was younger, my dad, I was the only child, and I feel like my dad thought of me as like his son. 'Cause I went and worked with him. I did, he's a master electrician. I used to do all the AV wiring for him when I was real young. Like I'm talking like 12, 13. And he bought a Miata when I was super young, and I lived on a farm, and he used to let me drive around the fields. And then after that, I was driving, the trucks with the trailer on it so we could go haying and pick up hay. And it really just kind of progressed from there. I just started getting into, four-wheelers and off-roading and, motorsports, all that just came into one. But I think what really pushed me in the performance direction is when I was in the military. There were a ton of awesome cars on base, and I made it like a point to go meet these people because I wanted to do what they did. A good friend of mine, Sean, he had an Evo 10, which inspired me to buy the Evo 10 that I had before the GTR. There was another guy on base that had a GTR who was visiting and let me drive his GTR, and it was like, this is my dream car already from high school. I just drove it once, and that was when I was like, yeah, I have to have one. So
Cool.
it was just so fun to learn from these people, and performance is where it's at, going fast is where it's at, and I'm just glad that I can do it safely on the track now and not a street racer or anything.
So I imagine you started off doing wrenching and everything.
Yeah, so when I was in the military, I was a watercraft engineer, which is basically a glorified way of saying a diesel mechanic. So
Okay.
we worked on Army boats with big diesel engines in them. And it was cool because I went from working on something the size of, a living room that was easy to learn on, now down to something so small, a motor in a car. So I really got a good understanding of all that.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you worked on what kind of diesel engines in the military?
Yeah, so like Detroit diesels, Cats, Cummins. I mean, they were huge. But it was really cool because them being so big, I got to really get hands-on. I mean, I did everything maintenance-wise to these things. Everything. I lived on the boat, so like if I didn't fix it, like we weren't going anywhere.
Well, it's good to have you around while you're out at sea, right?
Yeah. Safe to say I've never gone on a cruise or anything like that
Really?
after I got out. No, I'm all set with boats. I'll
I got
stick with
this.
the car.
Is there a mechanic on board?
Yeah, that is my nightmare. That would happen. I need someone to climb down in the bilge and grab this really important part that we dropped, and it would be me because I'm tiny.
Right.
That was my entire career. So
That's hilarious. So now your car is at a point where you're probably not wrenching. Like Taylor and I, we're beyond wrenching on these cars because they're at such a level
right.
that we,
Well,
We're
I
changing
try
oil.
not to. The
He
problem
will
is when you take your car to the shop, they deliver it back, and then you get it, and they're like, "Oh yeah, we didn't do this and this and this," and you're like, "Oh geez, okay." Not AIM, not the current crew. I'm still reeling from some of the experiences I've had over the last couple of years with shops.
We have PTSD.
It's been, yeah.
I've been discussing this lately. It's just so weird how, if this happened in any other non-niche industry, like these companies wouldn't be in business. It's just so crazy to me to see how many shops take advantage of customers and then they're just bankrupt and they're gone. That really does surprise me a lot. But we have such a little niche market that I guess people just stick around.
Yeah, we stick around too long sometimes.
Yeah.
You
want to be the good guy. You want to give them the benefit of the doubt, but not everyone is great in the industry. As much as I want to say they are, I've met the most incredible people in my life in our industry, but there are definitely some people out there.
Well, it's hard too when you're so deep in a build and you're like, oh, it just needs just this extra 5% to be done, and then that 5% turns into 7, and then 10, and then you're like, I guess I got to throw the towel in and start over.
Yeah, you're speaking my language now. I totally understand that. Everyone's like, oh, when are you going to go faster? Like, when are you going to, try to break into the 6s like some of these other people have? I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, do you understand what that entails? I would have to drain my 401k for that. Like, I'm not getting to that point. So trust me, I'm not going into the 6s anytime soon. But
there's a lot of people racing their 401ks right now.
No kidding.
A lot of people.
Yeah.
For what?
That, I think about that a lot. I'm like, man, I should have gone with some sort of Mustang and just built that and raced it until it broke and then replaced something for way cheaper than one part on the GTR. But no, I really love it. This is my dream car. It is far surpassed anything I ever thought I'd be able to accomplish with it as it stands. So
do you think you'll ever get into a different platform, or is this going to be it?
I don't know. As far as racing, we'll have to see. My husband actually bought me a 1990 Miata for Christmas, which was like the coolest thing ever. That was my first car, was a Miata.
Okay.
So like I kind of like miss having a street car that I could just like hoon around. So I was thinking of just turboing that, going to some Cars and Coffee, maybe going to some Time Attack stuff.
Yeah.
Just having fun. I miss having a street car. Not that I can't drive the GTR on the street, but it's a headache.
These cars are beyond driving down the street at this point.
We did it in Abilene. It was a lot of fun. We did like a big photo shoot after the race on Saturday in Abilene. It was great to be able to drive it on the street again, but again,
yeah,
you don't want to go too far.
Now, does your car still have AC and radio and gold interior?
Oh yeah, everything.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Who doesn't have AC, Todd?
I'm back in the game.
I know.
My
car didn't have AC.
Out for?
Oh, the previous owner wanted to weight save. Took the AC right out. So, and I bought it sight unseen in July, and I'm in Texas, and I'm like, oh, I guess the AC needs some Freon. No,
it just needs to be recharged. Just a little recharge.
Recharging nothing.
Yeah, there was nothing in the car. So 8 years later, I finally put it back in.
There you go. That's a necessity, especially where you live.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially when we try to drive it on the street.
Yeah.
Which we can do. Yeah. All right. So next week I will see you.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm very excited.
The weather looks amazing.
Don't jinx us now. Don't you knock on wood somewhere. Don't jinx us.
It's rained every year.
It's been many years of frustration. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's good. We get to see everybody, I mean, I went last year and the car I didn't even take my car, but I went to see everybody.
Yeah.
Because it's 2 hours away.
You remember that one year I took my car, but we didn't race it. It just sat on the trailer out in the parking lot.
Yes.
Yeah.
Little parking lot queen.
Trailer parking lot queen.
Yeah.
Or was it it was on the trailer, right?
Yeah, it was on the trailer. I can't remember. I mean, I never planned. Look, I'm not dumb. I'm not going to Texas 2K. I just don't have the power for it.
My car makes 1,400, no problem. But that's not even going to be enough to qualify. I mean, we have to run. Last year was 189 was the slowest qualifying.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah. So I'm gonna go get some runs in, to get ready for Hondo, because the car's pretty fresh. I mean, I've only run 2 events with it. I swapped the clutch. I'm not running a Tilton anymore. I'm running an RPS clutch. So it's a full frame clutch, not this little thing. And it's got a bigger flywheel. So it drives a little different. So I'm getting used to it.
Well, you sure made a statement in Indy.
Oh, hey, you're going to bring that up?
It was just my first impression of you, but I thought it was pretty cool.
Oh, wait. Oh, you're talking about the spin?
Yes.
Okay. I meant to do that.
Yeah, you saved it. I mean, it was incredible.
Exhibition.
Yeah.
Yeah. What good times. Well, the motor was fine. The transmission was fine. It just popped a little oil plug. That was it.
Got a new gas cap and ready to go.
Oh, as a matter of fact, when so they JB Weld fixed that in Indy. That's how they fixed it, and we never went back to just do a permanent fix on it.
Yeah.
And so when we were putting the new clutch in, driving it across the street into the lift at Driver Source, the plug popped out. Just driving it, 100 feet. And
Is it gone?
well, they saved it, and they were able to drill and tap a plug in, so it's been permanently fixed now.
Very
Only
good.
lost a couple of quarts of oil, but I was like, holy crap, it could have happened at 2K.
Ooh,
Yeah,
yeah.
You definitely saved that car, and that was a very minor casualty for what I was watching. So good on you. That was good driving.
And I got did you get the belly pan? The GTRs have to wear a diaper?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. I guess the shop Houston figured that out, huh?
You got to have it. I've actually had it in the car for
Oh, okay.
4 years.
Okay.
It's just safer. I'm a big stickler for safety. I put the cage in the car before it even needed it.
Oh, yeah.
I put the parachute on before it even needed it. I've seen a lot of scary things go down on the track, and I think that safety is super important. So
Yeah.
I've got to think with the GTR, though, that stuff is, I don't want to say common, but more common than guys doing belly pans and diapers on Porsches.
Yeah. But,
yeah,
It just seems like there's not that many Porsches that are running at this level.
right. And that's the thing is, I'm sure if you had the number of Porsches that we were running GTRs the past 5 years, they'd probably have their own thing they have to put on the car to make sure it doesn't explode.
Yeah.
you'd probably have many manufacturers making them, because AIM had to make mine custom. I don't even know who else would make one.
Yeah, I got mine from Forge Performance back when Sharif owned it. So I got it many years ago. I just wanted to make sure. I've seen so many people slipping on wet surfaces, and that just terrifies me. So we have that belly pan, and then we also have the diaper for the transmission.
It's a good idea. People are going to complain, and everybody's like, "This is stupid." But if you're going to save an hour of cleanup, it's not. If
you're going to save one injury,
or
it's worth it to have everyone on the property putting that on their vehicle.
Maybe we should market it differently, like not diaper and belly pan. Those are kind of dumb names.
You're
like,
right.
I mean, what
come
would
up
you
with something
call
better.
it?
I don't know. I'm just the idea guy. I'm not like put it into practice.
He's not the marketing guy.
No.
Now we're going to have to come up with new names for this.
Yeah, we got to rename it.
I'll report back once I come up with something good.
Episode 2. All right, Brooke. Thank you for joining us. I know you got lots to do, as well as we do, right? So busy schedule.
Yeah, real busy today.
So yeah, thanks for coming by, and we will get this edited and get it out right away.
Sweet. Sounds good.
And I'll see you next week.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
Hey, what day should I come spectate if I come?
Saturday.
Wednesday.
Well, if you're a roll racer, yes.
Wednesday and Friday.
Okay.
I'd say, yeah, Friday and Saturday are good days.
Well, I'm only going to run Wednesday because I'm not going to qualify.
Okay, so you got to go Wednesday and Saturday. How about that?
Yep.
Okay. We'll see.
You're
We'll
close.
see what I can do.
You're close. You're close.
Yeah.
Not
Just
a
down the street.
Yep. All right, folks.
Okay.
Well, this will wrap it up. Brooke, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you, Brooke.
both.
Appreciate
It's
it.
been fun.
We will see you next week.
All right, awesome.
All right,
Thank
thanks.
Good luck.
Thank you for listening to So You Think Your Car is Fast podcast. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we will see you next time.